We're going to talk about how to do works. We're going to talk about preparing for our official launch coming in November. We'll talk about commissions, and then we'll talk about do this and don't do that, so that when we're in China, we know how to build a foundation for success. Okay, next slide, please. Sorry, next slide, please. Ah, perfect. There you go. Let's stay here. So on this one, guys, if you remember nothing, I just want you to remember, you cannot imagine how fast a truly motivated leader in China is capable of building. Maybe you can, but I think most of us are probably underestimating the ability for an entrepreneur to act today in China. So if you were to talk to me in the US and you closed me and I got excited, I would probably take the next month to learn about the product, to learn the business opportunity, to learn the rules, to learn what I need to do to succeed. And then I would start to slowly get to work. If I was really aggressive in the US, maybe 2 weeks. I promise you, you're going to find out really quick that your friends in China, your new friends, your old friends, if someone wants to build and they are emotionally excited, they understand why our product is unparalleled. Like, we have no comparison. They understand that, wow, the Immunotec commission budget is 25% higher than the industry average. That's not 2.5%, it is 25% higher. Guys, our pie that we're sharing is so much bigger that where other companies literally have to say, well, let's only focus on this marketing piece of the plan because this part over here isn't really abundant.
Ian Chandler.
I love it. Thank you so much for the introduction, Vanessa. Guys, it is so good to be here. What an amazing, amazing team that is on this call. I just want to let you know how much I love being a part of the Immunotec family. Every week we have a call with the executive team, and every week I'm just reminded of how blessed we are. Honestly, I've been doing this for 20 years, as Vanessa said, and it's always amazing, right? In the last 20 years, I have seen thousands and thousands of lives be blessed through intentional efforts to try to become more healthy, to live a better life, to live a more meaningful life. But I never had Immunocal. And I think it's crazy that the world does not know about what we have here at Immunotec. So it is my honor, it is my privilege to be a part of the Immunotec family and to meet every one of you amazing people. I can't wait to see you face to face. I can't wait to rub shoulders with you. But more importantly, I can't wait to do something that has never been done in our industry, okay? So for those of you who don't know China, right? Let me tell you a little bit about why it's near and dear to my heart, and then we'll go through quick, okay? China is amazing, and you're gonna learn you can do pretty much anything in China. Like, as big as your dreams can be, people make their dreams a reality every single day in China, especially in our industry. So it is an amazing opportunity that we have worked with Mauricio and with the Immunotec team for the last 19 months putting this together. So this has not been a rushed plan. This has not been, hey, let's just go and figure it out. This has been intentional. This has been careful and precise. All right, guys, so here is what tonight's call is going to be. We want to talk about the who, what, when, where, and why. All right, what is going on? There's a lot of information, okay? Here is what tonight is not. Tonight, we are not going to be giving a presentation about Immunotec in Chinese. We're not going to be sharing the product or sharing the business opportunity on this call in Chinese, okay? We will be having those with our sales team in the future, but as of right now, this is to help you learn, what are we doing in China? How does it work? What should I know? What should I do? What should I not do? So that we can be prepared to capitalize on this, okay? So next slide, please. Thank you so much. So we're gonna really go into the details of how you can start to introduce the Immunotec brand to friends, family, possible business partners, anyone who likes to feel better, look better, be better from the inside out, then this is teaching you how to do that. I promise we won't answer all of your questions tonight, and that's okay. Every week for the next month or so, we will continue to have these information sessions where you can ask questions, we can give you answers, we can get your feedback on what's working really well, and we can get your feedback on, hey, you know what, this could be done a little bit easier, or have you thought of that? I always believe that the reason we can win is not because I'm a genius, right? It's because that together, that there's nothing we can't solve. There's nothing we can't answer. There's nothing we can't create if we're willing to work together. So I'm honored to be your partner in building China together. But make no mistake, this is not the Ian Chandler show. This is not the Immunotec owners show. This is your opportunity. This is your company. This is our family. And this is going to be amazing, okay? So we'll talk about the business model. We'll talk about some of the approaches and the timing of how we're doing this, okay? We can reward people for sponsoring. We can reward people for building teams. We can reward leaders for motivating and inspiring people and coaching people to rise to success. That's what our compensation plan budget does. And I don't think most people know about that. When we're in China, the person who says yes and let's start working together literally will probably start working the same night. They're going to be on the phone. They're going to be calling their friends. And you will be blown away at how fast that can go. So what I want you to set your expectations are, if you decide to pursue this opportunity, you are not only going to be dear friends and partners with many, many great leaders, you're going to be best friends overnight. And they're going to need and want and expect support to get them information, to get them basic tools, to get them trained in a very tight time frame. So the faster that you can be responsive, the more success you'll be set up to have, okay? Next, I talked about why this is a generational timing, and we'll dive into that a little more, but it really is different than any international company introducing their brand into China ever. And I mean ever. The last one to get a license was Nature's Sunshine, which is just okay in China. And during that time, in the last 8 years, not one single international brand has introduced their brand under a direct sales license. Not one. So I promise you, having done this 22 years, having tried myself to acquire a license, it is very rare, and we have an amazing opportunity. So we'll dive into that. But this is a generational opportunity that we are building for a long, long foundation. That's why we've taken 19 months to come to today. Not 19 weeks, 19 months, almost 2 years to get this done right. Okay, so next, who is this opportunity for? Like I said, not for the faint of heart. I would expect you to be the perfect person who's going to succeed in China is someone who can really be a close, connected friend, who can solve problems together, who can be patient, who doesn't over worry about things, who doesn't under worry about things, right? You have to really care, and you have to be responsive, and you have to have a lot of communication. But if you can do those things, that's all it takes. It's not a lot. It's a two-way street. Then you can be brought into the inner circle of friendship, and growth is just a question of time. What about the language barrier? I don't speak Chinese. What can I do? Your cell phone, once you get the app called WeChat, and you will need WeChat, WeChat, WeChat. Once you have that, automatic translation inside the app. You can voice talk, it can change voice to text, they can long press that, and it can be translated into Spanish, into English, into Chinese, whatever language you choose in the platform. So that will be your secret weapon in making friends, in leading your team, and guiding your teams, WeChat. And we'll talk about that at a later time. This is really important. We're starting with cross-border e-commerce. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then we're going to have a joint venture formal launch in November. What does that mean? We'll talk in a second. Okay? And the last thing, then we'll go through the details. So we're doing this in two phases. First is what we call cross-border e-commerce. Okay? So that's just online shopping that allows customers in China to be able to purchase products. So they're able to buy Immunocal, Immunocal Platinum, Immunocal Sport, the Red and Greens Booster, the Hibiscus Energy Booster. They can buy all the 5 core. And we can just keep it on Spanish, thank you. Then they're able to buy the other supplemental 6, I call them. So Omega Gen V, Calcium D, right? Magistral. We have WIMS for the children. We have ProBio 3. We have the Calcium D for milk. And that's kind of the 2 groups of products that are available for our products in China, okay? You're like, what about K21? What about the other products? Just give us time. We're starting here. As our footprint grows, then it's much easier to expand to the other products. It's for them to buy product. And really the goal is we want to have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. From now until November, when we have the official launch, we literally want to have 1,000 different customers use Immunocal, get a testimonial, get an experience, and be able to stand on stage at the launch and say, hi, nice to meet you. I'm part of the Immunotec family. Here's what Immunocal did for me. Here's why I love it. And that's powerful. One of the things I love most about our industry and about this business opportunity is the chance to tell a story. Like, we can sell all of the facts and all of the details about why the product is patented, why it works, and the science. We can talk about the business and how the compensation is amazing, and all of those details are great. But really what matters is connection, that human-to-human connection. And the way that humans forever have been able to share that is through stories. And stories happen when, before I was this, here was my problem, here is me now, and here's how I overcame the problem, and here is why Immunotec was a part of that. And that transformation story, multiplied by 1,000, magnified by an audience and a stage at our launch event, is going to be monumental. And when I say launch event, here's what I want you to imagine in your head, okay? You guys have been watching the World Cup, correct? Those stadiums are amazing, okay? They're huge. Most of the time when we do an event in China or in the US, we go to a hotel, we book a room, maybe there's 500 people, maybe there's 2,000 people, right? And it's in a hotel, and the hotels are fine. Guys, our headquarters Our headquarters with our partner in China that we are creating the joint venture together with, we have a 2,000 person capacity stadium where we will be holding our launch event. 2,000 people. We could probably fit 2,500 smaller people if we need to on site at the headquarters. And that is where we're going to have thousands of people go on stage, raise their hand, tell their story. And everyone says, wow, this is definitely different. Our partner, it is crazy. It is almost like it was meant to be. Our partner in China has been in the industry for 30 years. Immunotec has been in business for 30 years. Now, I would argue the last 8 years are the most important part of that 30-year history, in addition to the R&D. But guys, this is going to be special. We are not just partnering with someone to say, hey, can we come to China? Can we launch Immunotec into China? No, we are coming in a position of power. Our partner has over 1,200 offices all around the country where your teams and your prospects can invite their prospects to come and listen, to learn about Immunocal, to try a sample, to pick up a product if we have to. 1,200 different offices all around the country, right? You're going into a headquarters that is 12 stories tall, and we will have our own 5,000 square foot office space for your people to come to try product at the headquarters. There's a museum where we will have information about Immunocal, why it is the most impactful product for the immune support, for fighting free radicals, for detoxing. We will have a section inside the museum. So when I say that we are laying a foundation for a big, big opportunity, I am not, this is not hyperbole. Our partner in China is called Dalian Shuangdi. So Shuangdi, and they are in the city of Dalian, okay? And they have been in business, like I said, for 30 years. And we are the only international brand that has ever or will ever partner with them in a joint venture. And I want to talk about why that's important, okay? So this is, let's be clear on what this is and what it isn't, but we'll talk about that in a second, okay? You have lots of questions on the partner. You have lots of questions on what that looks like, and I've got a slide for it. But let's just remember that this NFR model up front is really the foundation of preparing people for that November launch. So right now is a chance for people to try the product, to build a testimonial, to get a testimonial, to get an opportunity so that we can have the greatest launch literally in the history of ever. So for cross-border, how do people order? You go to immunotec.hk. That is the website. It's super easy, super straightforward. Right now it's powered by Shopify. And then in about a month, we will move that to our own immunotec.com platform, okay? But shopping is simple, guys. So next slide, please. Great. So you're going to choose your product. It's very simple. As soon as you go to the main page, you just scroll down, and we have enrollment packs. If you want to add on other individual products, you can do that. It's just normal shopping. So if you go to literally Amazon or any website anywhere, you will know how to navigate. You simply add it to your cart. And this is important. At the end, you're going to add your referrer ID. So if you are the upline helping your new person enroll, helping your new person buy product, then you're going to input your referral ID right there in that box after they choose the product. That's really important. If you forget, then we'll have customer service reach out and we'll find out who your enroller was, okay? But if you put that information here, then we get that and that applies and we automatically upload that into our system, okay? So make sure that's an important number. If you're having them do it by themselves, make sure that you give them your referring ID so that they can input that in. Once they've input in, they can just click next and we'll go to the next slide, please. Okay, this one, they're going to input their address. Now, this is really important. In this address field, okay, it is defaulting to ship to China. Now, I have many friends on the call who have a lot of contacts in Australia, in Malaysia, in Singapore, Taiwan, Indonesia, Thailand, that would all love to start building the China market. They have contacts, they have friends, they have top leaders. Okay, this is really important. Okay, we welcome all of those people, but the system is set up to input a Chinese address. So if I was going to input an Australian address, very simple. You're going to just leave it as the China country, not a problem. You're going to put in your information, your name, your last name. In the address, you can go ahead and input, oops, hold on real quick. There we go. So in the address folder, you can input anything. So if it was Australia, I would input my Australian address. If I was inputting to everywhere, okay, so if you want to ship to everywhere, unfortunately, we're not open everywhere. But for a few top leaders, give us a heads up, call us first, connect with us, and we'll let you know, yeah, we can probably ship from Hong Kong to a few people around Asia to help them start. It does not mean I'm opening Malaysia. It does not mean we're opening Australia. It does not mean we're opening Thailand. But for a few key leaders who have a large team in China or want to go build a large team in China, we can probably handle some small quantities of shipping. And in that case, you would just put your address in the address line. You would put your area in the area line. But this is important. Your zip code, you're going to have to input 6 numbers. So those numbers do not have to be precise. And then in the province tab, then you're going to have to input a province in China, okay? But outside of that, guys, our focus is for servicing customers in China. And servicing customers in China is what this is set up to do, right? So it's very straightforward, very easy to do. You put in their phone number, you put in the city, and once they've received that address, you can choose to save it or not save it, and then that will save on their cookies in their Shopify for future orders. Next slide, please. Okay, the payment method. This one's really important, okay? So in the payment method, and you can leave that in Spanish. That's fine, guys. So feel free to show the Spanish first and leave it on there for a minute. In the payment method, we have 4 major payment options: Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and last but most importantly, Union Pay. So for Visa and MasterCard, that can be either a debit card or it can be a credit card. Okay? Can be either a debit or credit. Both of those work. With Union Pay, same thing. It can either be a debit card or a credit card. It just must be Union Pay. Now, when is the last time you guys went on vacation to an international country? For me, I went to Japan with my family. I'm currently in Hong Kong, but we took my family to Japan. Before I go to Japan, one of the first phone calls I have to make is to call my bank. And the reason I call my bank is because if I don't call my bank and I go to Japan and I start spending money in Japan, my bank will probably either turn off my credit card or they're going to reject a transaction and send me a phone. They send me a text message and ask, was this you in Japan trying to buy something at the airport, trying to use your ATM at the airport? And I can say, yes, it was me. And they say, great, try again. That's what happens if my bank is nice. But some banks are not that great. They don't call you, they don't reach out to you, they just don't approve your transaction. And then you try again. And then they reject it again. And then you try, and it can loop, and it's very frustrating. So I want everyone to know, if you're trying to send a product to Australia or Malaysia or Thailand, if you're one of those leaders that we're trying to arrange, please, please, please call the bank first. Just like it was international travel, so that your bank knows you're trying to buy something in Immunotec Hong Kong, and then it's going to work just fine. Some of you very generous top leaders, sometimes you will use your own credit card to pay for your downline enrollment. I don't recommend that. I don't suggest that. But if you do, you're going to have to call your bank. Otherwise, your bank is going to think, why is Ian, who is currently in the US, for example, why is he trying to buy something in Hong Kong? That looks suspicious. Did someone steal his credit card number? Those are the questions they're asking, and you probably won't be able to finish and complete the payment. But if your customers in China, if they're in Hong Kong, if they're using Union Pay, just this morning I had many orders come through with Union Pay with no problem. So Shopify is working. We are processing orders. Orders are coming through. We have tested it. It's working. Guys, we're live. We are shipping products within 3 to 5 days, business days, from China now. Immediately, it is up and running. That means your prospects can get their hands on Immunocal within 3 to 5 business days, depending on where they live. And we'll talk about our shipping partner here in a minute. But it's really important on the payment, if you're using a non-China or a non-Hong Kong credit card, call your bank first. Even then, they still might reject it. You're going to have to call them again. I wish we could control that. What we can control is the types of payments that we allow. We can control the types of anti-fraud measures that we use and we look at, but your bank is the one who controls, does it have to have a passcode? That I send a text message or receive a text message and type in the passcode? That is your bank that decides that. That is your bank that controls that. So just be aware that might happen. If it does, no problem. Like I said, this morning, we've had plenty of orders that have gone through, no problem. All right, now in the final billing address. So next slide, please. In the billing address, okay, if you are that international non-China, non-Hong Kong credit card, this does not require that it's China only. You can choose the actual location of your billing payment credit card. So if I'm in the US, if I'm in Mexico, if I'm in Spain, if I'm in wherever, then I can choose that country. I can input my billing information as it's on my credit card, and that can be there. But for China, it's very simple. They would just, if it was the same as the shipping address, they can click that button and say my payment address is the same as my shipping address. Perfect. For most people in China, that will be true. But sometimes you have uplines in China that will pay directly, and that's fine. This one's an important one, really important. Contact your bank. All right, this is probably the second to most important part. All right, this is going to be your, in China, this is going to be their individual ID number. And we need this so that we can process commissions in the future, okay? So this is the last step before we actually submit the payment. And as you can see, it's not difficult. Choose a product, shipping address, payment information, payment address, and then last but not least is their government ID. So in China, this is an 18-digit number. Now, if I'm from Australia or Thailand or Malaysia, then it's very easy. I can just type in 18 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry to the translator. I go fast on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? You could do that twice. So 18 digits, it must have 18 digits. It does not matter which 18 digits. But if they are Chinese, from China, then use their actual 18 digits, okay? If it is not from China, you can put anything in there, and that's fine, and then go to the payment. So what happens after the order? We send all of the information to our third-party logistics partner, who immediately starts to prepare shipping. The product is already in a warehouse out. And like I said, within 3 to 5 business days, you will receive that. Your customer will receive that. We then send the information over the volume, so the PV and the commissionable volume for that order. Once a day gets sent from Shopify to our backend system so that we can process commissions. In about 3 weeks, when we are on the Immunotec.com platform, no longer on Shopify, then it will be in real time. So if you're looking at your volume, if you're looking at your downline orders and your back office reports, you will see that probably the next day. So they place an order today, I see the volume tomorrow. Make sense? But in about 3 weeks, you'll see that in real time. Okay, next, the data connects to Immunotec, and then we're processing commissions already. Not only are we processing commissions for the uplines outside of China, we're also processing commissions for consultants in China, even through cross-border e-commerce. Guys, that's really important because not only can they try the product, they can try the business. It is the same rules as our current international compensation plan, with a few minor surprises coming in November, okay? That is a lot of work that we're working on, but that means that your customers in China, your consultants and business partners in China can enjoy everything that the Immunotec opportunity has to offer, with one little exception. We are not launching lifestyle business rewards in China, okay? And that is because Chinese don't really go after traditional customers that way. So most people will be consultants, and that's fine. They are not required to purchase the $49 starter kit. Unfortunately, in China, that is not legal. We cannot require a payment or purchase of that pack. So as of today, it is product and product only. Those packs currently are tax inclusive, shipping inclusive, everything inclusive. So the price that you see includes shipping, includes tax, it includes duties. We get it to them. That is the final price. It is inclusive. They don't have to get a calculator to figure out how much taxes they're going to pay or how much shipping they're going to pay. We covered that completely. So it is super straightforward. The same international plan, the same international opportunity, the same rules, and we'll even be joining the upcoming trip schedule starting in August. So right now we're just getting people familiar with the products, familiar with purchasing, trying, but in a very short future, starting in August, they will be joining the same as the rest of the world for an international next. This one to me is really, really, really important. And you have to know, I told you I've spent 20 years selling products and supplements in China. And here's what you have to know that our competitors just can't compete with us on. If I want to go sell a vitamin C product in China, just vitamin C, let's say that in the US it is 300 milligrams, right? It is a huge amount of vitamin C. If I go to China, it will be watered down because the regulations limit how much a formula can be in China for vitamin C, vitamin D, for everything. Our entire supplement space, there's this weird situation in China where, unfortunately, they're not accessing international formulas. And it's sad. It was very tough for me. I'd say, well, our US formula is amazing. Our European formula is amazing. Our LATAM formula is amazing. And I go to China and it's okay. Everyone's is the same because the government is limiting what they can sell. In Immunocal, guys, it is the same global formula in or out of China, today in cross-border and tomorrow in the joint venture. The exact same formula. Not one thing about what makes that product work will change. It's not half, it's not 50, 30%, 70%. It is the entire 10 grams of undenatured, bonded cysteine delivering amazing Immunocal the way that it needs to be. And that is huge because other than maybe like a few of the juices, everyone else's product when it goes to China is half of what it should be. And of course, if you know anything about Immunotec and Immunocal, I feel like I was living in the Stone Age, not understanding the glutathione story. Remember, what everyone else is selling and promoting is we take a lot of vitamins so that we can fight oxidation in the bloodstream and we can fight against oxidation and free radicals, right? But that's outside of the cell. Only Immunocal helps the cell build that shield from the inside out. It's a completely different story. And so I promise you, no one has heard this story. And every time I tell it and every time I teach it, people are like, wait a second, that's so much smarter. That is so much smarter. Why are we flooding the body with antioxidants when we just needed the right ingredient for the body to protect itself? And when they hear it, it's a mind blow. They almost can't believe it's true, which is why I'm glad we have all of the patents and all of the studies. So I won't sell Immunotec here, but I just want you to understand that what we have is special. It really is. Because everyone else gets a watered down formula. Ours is not watered down. Next slide, please. Great. Like I said, these are the products that we have available today through cross-border e-commerce. And then on the left are the products that will be registered in China with the joint venture. On the right are the products that will continue to be offered through personal use, not for retail, through the cross-border e-commerce platform. So all of the Immunocals, all of the boosters, we're looking into sport. Sport might have to be on the cross-border e-commerce side, but we know that Platinum and Immunocal Original and the two boosters will be in China, registered on the ground. They're going to be the long-term foundation for our success, and it is amazing. The non-watered down formula, that applies to the Immunocal Hero products and those products you see on the left. For the other products on the right, because we don't want to sell anything watered down, those will be sold through cross-border. So either way, you're going to maintain the international formula. Either way, it's going to be the same, but that's a solution that we've solved through operations. But what I'm the most excited about is that our products in China, the hero products, you can buy in China through the China website, through China Payment, with Alipay or WeChat Pay. All of those will be the original formulas. as we know them today. And that is huge. That is amazing. Next slide, please. Sorry, next slide. Perfect, thank you. Let's talk about phase 2. After the cross-border phase, let's talk about the launch in November. Next slide, please. Okay, so what about commissions? I just talked about how our customers through the cross-border e-commerce phase, that they can also join into the opportunity. And we use Pay Quicker to process their commissions. And this is crazy. Once they've earned their commissions and they say pay out, they can just set up a Pay Quicker account. Okay, they will set up their Pay Quicker account, and then we will ACH pay directly into their simple. So I'm not going to spend too much time today teaching that process. We'll save that for a future information session, just because today the focus is enroll, the focus is buy, the focus is try to get the best results from Immunocal as soon as possible. But guys, it's crazy. We can literally send their commissions to them directly to their bank account in China. And you're like, well, of course, that seems so normal. I promise you, after doing this for 20 years in China, that is not normal. It is not easy. It is a miracle that they can be paid that straightforward and that easily and that simple. So from now and November, really what we're trying to do is to build with purpose. So every week we will have Q&A answers information sessions where people can ask questions. In a minute, we're going to have Q&A and you can ask a lot of questions. I will stay on this call as late as I need to stay to answer all of your questions. But really what we're trying to do is find people who really love making an impact on health. And I promise you that is most people in China. They love health more than you can imagine. They love sharing business opportunities more than you can imagine. The economy after COVID really went down, which means people need an opportunity more than they've ever needed it. So this is what we're doing from now in November. We're doing pre-launch face-to-face meetings. I am having phone call after phone call, Zoom call after Zoom call. Just for what it's worth, in China, we don't use Zoom. We use what they call VooV. So I'm going to type that. So earlier we talked about WeChat and we talked about VooV. This is basically the same as WhatsApp. And VooV is the same as Zoom. And they both work internationally, okay? So I'll type that again, WeChat, VooV, there we go. Those two you're going to want to start to use to connect yourself into China, all right? When we have large teams and large leaders who want to join, we are going to welcome them with open arms, and many of them have teams that would like to enroll all together. For those people, we'll work with them directly. You guys can get my contact information through your platinum uplines, and then we can work together to build a plan to bring the teams all together on board all at once, and usually with a little bit of a discount, a little bit of a benefit for the top leader. We call that a ping yi. Okay? You're going to learn that word, ping yi. Ping yi means we bring them from wherever they were into the Immunotec team all together, okay? One thing that I want us to be aware of, excuse me, is how we do this, okay? Again, I don't want us to say, Immunotec is owning China. Guys, we don't own China. We don't own this partnership. It is going to be a strategic joint venture, and that's really important because the direct sales license belongs to our partner. The direct sales license is our partner's. The brand of Immunotec is introduced through the license, and we are a partner with them. And but their role will be, I am a Shuangdi direct sales consultant, and I'm promoting the Immunotec brand. But the product is us, the management is us, the commissions is us. Make sense? It is a beautiful setup. Again, it has been years in the making. Next slide, please. All right. So in November, I believe it will be the greatest official opening launch ever. And I don't believe that because I'm just saying something. Guys, I've seen this. I've done this 3 times. This will be my 3rd time launching in China. The first time with USANA, that was big. The second time with RX, that was little. But we grew and we grew and we grew. But I have never seen a brand that when we start, you ready? This is exciting, guys. When we start, we will have a license. We will have a headquarters. We will have 1,200 offices all around the country. We will have, this is even crazier, Chinese medical published studies in China showing that Immunocal works for a broad variety of health benefits. We have that in China. You're going to go on stage and say, here is the Chinese university that says Immunocal in China works for this and this and this. It is crazy. I've never seen a launch like that before, and we'll never see it again. With the license, with the home office, it is going to be amazing. Next slide, please. Okay. So we're running towards that. Also, next slide, please. Let's just go to the compliance slide. Okay. Next slide, please. All right, guys. Now this slide is very blank, and I left it blank on purpose. And my original slide, the whole thing was blank because there are certain things that we talk about and there are certain things that we write about in China. And I don't want to spend too much time, but this is how everyone in China does it. Amway, Herbalife, Nu Skin, USANA. These are the rules that everyone plays by. In China, we do not publish the compensation plan. We do not teach the compensation plan on stage. We do not openly and publicly talk about the compensation plan. Why? Because the rules were created 22 years ago. And back then, what they put in the rules was single level pay only. But in 22 years, every company pays multiple levels. But the government hasn't changed the rules. So there's this little game they play. The game is this. I know you have multiple level pay. You know you have multiple level pay. You know that I know that you know that I know. It's this game they play and everyone knows, but because they haven't changed the rules, they cannot allow people to publish openly those rules in writing. So how do people teach the compensation plan? Face-to-face, one at a time, in a small room. And trust me, the Chinese are very good at it. They are very familiar with this process, and we are very good at teaching and educating them how to teach the compensation plan. So don't be worried when you will need to teach it to your first Chinese person the first time. We are here to help. So we can have those one-on-ones with your people to teach them. Alternatively, you can share a PowerPoint. If the PowerPoint says this is the Mexico compensation plan, this is the USA compensation plan, this is the Europe compensation plan, for your reference. See what I did there? China knows it's the same, but in writing, please let them know this is the Mexico compensation plan, the China, let them know this is your local compensation plan if you're going to do online trainings, okay? So that's how it's done. That's how it gets started. and very easy to do, but China's just a different place. Okay. Yes, you can talk about the compensation plan in a cafeteria, in a public space, at a coffee shop, at a friend's home. That's not the problem. The problem is something that is formal in writing, and you say, this is China. Okay, someone's going to complain about that. The government knows, they don't care, but if someone complains and says, hey, your rules say you can't show that, then they say, okay, will you please remove that? You know how everyone works. We don't publish that. We don't care, but we don't publish it. And you're not supposed to publish it. So that's kind of a funny difference that is different than anywhere. You don't need to be afraid. You don't need to be worried. That's not why they do it. It is just simply the rules have not been updated, and it's very hard for them to change the rules in writing, so they don't. But every year, we get together, and our partner who has the license will sit down with the government and say, what are the rules we care about this year? How can we make sure that we are following best practices? Okay? Next slide, and then we'll talk about some do's and don'ts. So here are some do's, some things that we want to do, right? Let's build it the right way. We have so much magic in our product and so many testimonials in our product that all we have to do is tell the truth. Here's what I was before. Here was my process using the products. Here's how I am now. And we focus on the truth. Guys, I have seen so many stories about Immunocal. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how to describe the hundreds of stories from hundreds of chronic degenerative diseases and how Immunocal helped support their health in that process. If we tell the truth, we're fine, but we don't use the word cure. We don't use the word mitigate. We don't use the word, we just don't. In writing especially, but when you're talking, the focus is not, I cured cancer. The focus is, guys, I fought cancer. Here's what I was before. Here was my process. Part of that process was using Immunocal to support my body's immune system, to fight from inside the cell outwards. And what a miracle, what an opportunity. Here is me now. You focus on the truth. We don't use the word cure, okay? When you're talking product. When you're talking business, share your success. Tell the truth. But don't go and expand the truth. Don't exaggerate. We don't need to exaggerate. Like I said, our commission budget alone is 25% bigger than our industry competitors. Okay? And because of that, literally the business is huge. So let's do that. We want to build with integrity. We want to tell the truth. We don't want to exaggerate. We don't need to exaggerate because what we have is amazing. Next slide, please. The don'ts. We have to protect the foundation. Sorry, next slide, please. Thank you. We have to protect this foundation. It has been 2 years just with us putting this together, but I personally know the owner and I personally know the people who got us together. So this has been my entire career leading to this point. So please, please, please do not risk the foundation by doing the wrong thing. So if you thought it would be funny to have the president of China holding a box of Immunocal with an AI photo, please don't do that. That will be a problem, okay? We can use AI to do a lot of things, to tell the truth, to tell our stories. Perfect. Please do not create fake stories. Please do not create AI with Immunocal in some famous Chinese house, right? We don't need that. We will get plenty of famous Chinese people to love Immunocal and to take a real picture. And when that happens, we'll send those pictures that you can share. But let's not use AI. to create something that's not true. Okay. Yeah, don't exaggerate the product. It's amazing. It's good enough. Tell the truth. Don't exaggerate income claims. It's good enough. Tell the truth. We can show pictures of the amazing events where we have thousands of people on vacation together. Share that Immunotec truth. Share that Immunotec opportunity. Okay. But let's protect this. This is special, so let's not go crazy, but we can have a lot of momentum and a lot of excitement between now and November. Next slide, please. All right, guys, just a couple of golden rules. If you are going to be the upline for a new team in China, just for you to remember, everything is possible in China. Everything, anything. If you want 1,000 platinum leaders in your team in China, that is possible. If you want 10,000 platinum leaders in your team in China, that is possible. I promise you. We've done it. I've been a part of that. They love opportunity and they love entrepreneurship like very few places on planet Earth. And they love health like very few places on planet Earth. Okay? But it's not easy. Everything takes work. You have a language barrier. You have difference in culture. All of that, that's okay. Be prepared for a little bit of friction. Be prepared to get out of your comfort zone. This is what we excel at in this industry, right? When we leave that comfort zone, we are growing, we are improving. So it's okay that nothing is easy because everything is possible. So patience is going to be your greatest strategy and your greatest weapon. Like I said earlier, you will underestimate just how fast our friends in China can work. It is impossible to follow up and support them faster than they are ready to receive your support. So try to err on being fast, okay? And we will try to keep up with that pace as well. If they say you don't understand China, that usually just means they disagree with you. Doesn't mean they're right. It just means they disagree. And that's an opportunity for you to talk and to continue to work through whatever challenges you're working on. Okay? When they say, should I lead by the business or lead by the product? In China, the answer is yes. They want to know everything. They want the best business opportunity with the best budget for commissions, with the best upside for leaders. And they want the best product with the best science, with the best third-party validation. They want it all, and they're passionate about it all. And it's why China remains to be one of the greatest markets. It's just hard to get into. Guys, we got into it. We're getting into it. It's going to work perfect. And I love this. When you're optimistic, remember, nothing is easy. Remember number 2. And when you're feeling discouraged, remember number 1. Okay? So we've done this. This will be my 3rd and last time. But I am more excited about this opportunity than I have ever been in China because I think what we're doing is very special. So let's go to Q&A. And I've seen a lot of you ask questions in chat. I'm going to respond to some of those questions first. And then if you have questions, please put them in chat first, okay? So the first question I saw, what about the marketing materials? Where can I get the marketing materials for the opportunity presentation, the compensation plan? How do I teach people these things? Very good question. Right now, our marketing team is working on localizing all of that as we speak. And I'm guessing on next week's information session, we will be able to focus exactly on where to get those marketing pieces. Okay, so I have probably 5 or 6 of our best marketing pieces already translated. We are then going to work on videos, but it will probably be in your back office, in the library, or in your app in the library, and we'll work with IT. But right now, that's a work in progress, okay? So give it a little bit of time, but we're close to that. If you want to message your regional sales manager, we will get all of them a basic opportunity presentation and the compensation plan. But it will be the North America compensation plan in Chinese. Does that make sense? From what we learned, it's the USA compensation plan in Chinese. And that will be the reference that I recommend you use. But that's how they will be able to share that. And then, of course, our marketing materials will grow and grow and grow, and you'll have more and more to share. Great question. When is the typical time zone that we'll be conducting these information sessions? It's very late in New York. I understand. So we have 3 major time zones. We have North America, we have Europe, and we have Asia at a time that is convenient for. I currently am in Asia, so trying to balance between Asia time and US time. If you have a preferred time, so for example, 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, I don't mind starting earlier, okay? Perfect. Yeah, the name of the business partner in China is Shuangdi. And I just put it in chat, okay? It is Shuangdi. Let me send this to everyone. But guys, I don't want us publishing this. We have not made a formal announcement through the media. So you don't need to go and talk about the joint venture too soon. Today's focus is we're focused on Hong Kong. We're focused on cross-border e-commerce. People can try the products. They can buy, they can start to enroll, and let's really focus on getting that testimonial up and running. Let's have them have a product experience with their own story so that in November, I have 1,000 people stand up and say, this was my Immunocal transformation. Great. Next question is, have we trained customer service agents to answer and assist with Chinese orders? Great question. Right now, we are onboarding the customer service team. But as you saw from Shopify, it is very, very straightforward to place an order. The only challenge that we've seen is when somebody from a different country tried to buy in Hong Kong and we did not have them call their bank first, right? That's the only challenge we've seen. Everything is very straightforward. So if you have questions to customer service, we're working with Alfredo and his amazing team so that if you call in Mexico or you call in the US, they should have most of the answers that we would need. And then if you have additional information, they can reach out to our team. But we're currently onboarding the customer service team as we speak. Someone asked the question, where will the city be where the launch is at? It's at our headquarters in a city called Dalian, D-A-L-I-A-N. So Dalian just hosted the World Economic Forum. It is a beautiful city. You're going to love it. It has great seafood. It is not hot in the summertime. It's kind of cold in the winter, so you'll bring a coat, but it is beautiful. All right. Someone asked a question about part of the compensation plan will not be available. Just the the customer lifestyle benefit rewards. That's the only part of the plan that is not live in China. So the LBR, the lifestyle business rewards, the lifestyle.
Living better rewards.
Thank you. I'm thinking in Chinese, and I know it is in Chinese. In English, it's the living better rewards, LBR. So that is not live in China. Everything else is. Great question. All right, I have someone who wants to buy now. Will cross-border customer be my personally enrolled customer or consultant? It defaults to consultant, but remember, there's no enrollment fee. So China does not allow for enrollment fees. So whether they're a customer or a consultant, for you, it's basically the same. We do only have one fixed price. There's not a retail price. There's not a wholesale retail markup. That is different because, again, Chinese customers they don't really allow for, you can get this extra discount or wholesale retail. They always want one flat price. So our flat price includes shipping, taxes, duties, all of that is included, and it's one price. Whether you're a customer or you're a consultant, it's one price. So Dr. Sue asked, can you go over the Shopify website address to go to the order? So of course, it's just immunotech.hk. Or if you want, it's https://immunotech.hk. Either of those links will work. Let's see, if China people can buy any size of package to be a consultant. Yes. However, the compensation plan rules apply. So my strong recommendation would be a venture pack. So 1,000 PV is a great place to start. And then we can talk about the compensation plan on a separate session that will be the USA compensation plan training in Chinese. So we'll probably schedule one of those for you, Claire, for your team. And then, of course, we'll be doing this. My team will be holding local Chinese opportunity meetings every single week, starting probably next week. So I'm just onboarding a few of my sales, final people, getting them trained. But we will be doing opportunity meetings where we teach about the product, we teach about the business, we teach about the opportunity in Chinese, online, once a week. And that will be my team that will support that. So there's a lot of information to start with, but we're excited to get people on the product. We're excited to have you be able to share your passion, your story with them. Where can we find the 21 office locations? It's actually 1,200, but all of that is waiting for November, right? So we can leverage that in November when we formally have the joint venture up and running. But I'm letting you know that that is coming so that you're excited and that you're preparing with that future in focus. So come November, we can leverage all of those. But the main headquarters are in Dalian, and we have a beautiful office there. And of course, the stadium for our events on site, in person, right at the headquarters. That will be amazing. Can I sell the product in Vietnam? No, unfortunately, we cannot sell in Vietnam. We are not open in Vietnam. And Vietnam requires its own direct sales license, and they have stopped issuing licenses as well. So unfortunately, I don't have a great solution for Vietnam right now. What about Australia, Thailand, and Malaysia? What other countries will benefit? Yeah, that is where, for a few top leaders who are going to build China, we can probably ship from Hong Kong to Australia or Thailand or Malaysia, but it is not going to be large in volume. We don't have the bandwidth, and customs will probably hold your packages if we try to ship too much. But I know there's many of you who have contacts all around Asia that want to go build in China. And so for those top leaders in those areas, we can work on some small volume shipping to get that up and running. Let's see. So the question is, pero 1,000 PV no los convierte en asociados? Yeah, so we have a pack that is 1,000 PV that will allow them to become a venture. So it will open and activate their business, and also they will become a venture from day one. So that pack is pretty powerful. The customer program in Europe pays differently than in the US plan. Which one applies? We do not have a customer program today. So we're not doing the the LBR, Living Better Rewards. That program does not apply in China. Elaine asks, so my new consultant will sign up with Shopify and include her Immunotec ID on the order. Correct. That is exactly how it works, Elaine. Exactly. Are you saying that a 1,000 point pack will qualify as a venture? Yes. On which day in November will the inauguration take place? We are looking at the dates, but probably the middle of November. I don't have the exact date right now. How much does the consultant package cost? It's around 3,000 Hong Kong dollars to 4,000 Hong Kong dollars for the enrollment package. But of course, the maintenance packages it's right around 1,200 Hong Kong dollars. So if they're maintaining venture, maintaining silver, maintaining gold every month, it's about 1,200 Hong Kong dollars. That is with shipping, with taxes, with duties, all combined. Okay. Great question. Do they enter with phonetic names or characters? Hey, panel, can you please share the Shopify screen again? Let's go back up to where they're inputting their address, their shipping address, please. It's a great question. Or I can share my screen. You know, I'm just going to share my screen, guys, and then I will show you that slide. Hold on real quick. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Perfect. All right, I'll put that in presentation mode. Thank you, thank you. So great question. So back to Shopify, right here, where they're putting their shipping address. I strongly recommend that you choose Chinese as the language, or that they input their address in Chinese. If you input the address in Romanization, in the English letters, we're going to have to use a translation service to convert that into Chinese. But the problem is, you ready for this? The word baoding, the bao alone could have 10 different characters that are the same sound bao. So if you put BAO, we have to guess between 10 characters on which one is which. If you put DING, we have to guess on 20 characters. So it is much better to get the Chinese address. Great question. Please use the Chinese address in the address section. Chinese is what we want, and then that prevents any sort of a mistake. Great question, guys. If we have a group of 15 new Chinese to sign up, do we contact a platinum leader to help us? If you have a group of 15 to sign up today, call me, send me a message directly, and guys, I will take care of them. We'll get them on board. That is fantastic. So you can ask your regional sales manager how to get in touch with me, and I will work with you and them directly. You can ask for my WhatsApp group, and we'll put you in WhatsApp. That is amazing. Congratulations. If Chinese consultants can recruit global customers and global consultants and build a global business, Claire, absolutely. That's why we're so excited to start the cross-border process through Hong Kong, because once they're enrolled, they can sign up a Chinese person in America, in Australia, in Canada, anywhere. Global seamless. It is a global opportunity. Great question. Compensation plan says 2,000 PGV for venture. Why do I say 1,000? Welcome to China. Welcome to China, Elaine. Only those packs. So those packs will allow them to be venture. But of course, if you buy 2,000, it will also be venture. But we do have a few of those packs that automatically qualify to venture at 1,000 PV. You're welcome. Let's go. On the page, the currency appears as Hong Kong. Isn't that the Hong Kong currency? Yes, it is HKD Hong Kong dollars. What will be the official calendar of events, training, and corporate meetings in Asia over the next 6 months? So starting this week, we have weekly information sessions. Starting probably next week, we'll have weekly business opportunity meetings. That's a 45-minute product compensation plan, company opportunity, 45 minutes, they're done. That will start next week. ¿Puedo inscribir a un chino en México? Sorry, guys, my Spanish is terrible. I wish I spoke better Spanish. I'm learning. I will try, but my Chinese is great. So the question is, will you have...
Can they enroll someone in China that lives in Mexico?
Yeah. Of course. Absolutely. Great. What other question? Why not yuan? Great question, because this is buying through Hong Kong. This is Hong Kong cross-border, so they will pay in Hong Kong dollars. In November, once we launch the joint venture, then they will pay in Chinese. Great questions. Let's see. Regarding the compensation plan, the monthly auto ship or repurchase model, what I mean is the required monthly personal purchase, often called a repurchase, that a distributor must make in order to qualify for commissions. Does that apply in China? Yes. So that is the same. That is the same as everywhere else on the planet. Great question. Someone from Malaysia, how will they receive commissions? Do they need the China government number ID? Yeah, that's tricky. I don't have a solution to pay the Malaysia upline a commission yet, but that, in my experience, that is not difficult. So if we have that need and when we need that need, then we will create the solution for that. But I do not have that solution today. Great question. Tengo amigos chinos que viven en Colima y que ocupan. Vanessa, help me out. What is that asking?
They have people in Colima, which is Mexico, that they also need to be enrolled in China. I think it's the same that applies from the previous question.
Yeah, so let them know that if they're in Mexico, they can just enroll in Mexico. If they would prefer to enroll in China, that will be their choice.
They're asking if they need an address.
Pero tiene que tener dirección.
Exactly. They're asking if they need an address in China.
If they're shipping to Mexico, then they can just get it in Mexico. But if they want to ship to China, then of course we can ship to China. Okay, the next question, Vanessa, it is, pero tiene que tener dirección de China. El chino viviendo en Mexico.
Yeah, the one we just answered.
Answered. Thank you. How do I sign up a Chinese person in Guatemala? The same. So again, where do you want them to get their product? If you want their product in Guatemala, then you can enroll them in Guatemala and ship to Guatemala. If you want to ship to China, then use the website that you learned about tonight. So where they want their product is where you will enroll them. How do international consultants generate referral links from their portal? You don't today. That is coming in about 1 month. Okay, so today we just use the Immunotec.hk website. Then you will input your referral ID at the time of purchase. Remember, there's that box that says refer ID. That is where you put your ID as the referrer, or have them do that. The links are coming in about 1 month. Tell me your insights on the behavior of Chinese people when it comes to accepting Immunocal in their daily routine. What benefit they value the most? That's a great question. So everyone in China, literally everyone, they believe in preventative health. They believe in protecting the body from the inside out. They believe in dietary supplements. Everyone. There's not one person in China who says, I shouldn't take a supplement. Every one of them says, yes, supplements are good. I should take a good high quality supplement Why wouldn't I? So the story that is going to be the most powerful is every other supplement tries to solve the problem from the outside in. We solve it from the inside out, the way that nature meant to do it. And that is a completely different story than they have ever heard. And every time I tell that story, the Chinese stop and say, wow, you turn on the ability for the cell to create a shield of protection with glutathione. Yes. Why don't I know that story? That's their question. Why don't I know that story? And the answer is because there's only one Immunotec, and we were patented, and we were never in China. That's why we're coming. That's why it's so important. So that inside out self-protection glutathione story is your most powerful weapon by and far. As for the daily routine, none of the customers that we have shared with, none of them have a problem with just taking it straight up. So you get the shaker cup, you mix it, you drink it. The flavor is fine. They don't mind the original flavor. Of course, you can mix it the same way we mix it with the reds and greens. Of course, you could put that into soy milk. All of that is fine. But they like the flavor as is. Not a problem. What are the registration requirements for Chinese citizens here in Mexico? I don't know, but if they are Chinese citizens, just have them enroll through Hong Kong, right? They can buy something and then you can ship a product to them in Mexico probably would also work. I don't know, but our customer service team probably does know. So I will leave that answer for them to answer. Where will I find the link for the weekly Chinese meeting? And will we do the meeting by VooV? Yes, we will be doing those opportunity meetings using VooV, not Zoom. And that is because China doesn't really use Zoom. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. VooV works internationally and it works in China. And you will find that on next week's information session. So we're putting that together, but there's a lot of information to get, and so we'll have that. Yes, Immunotec.hk is the Shopify place to shop today. Correct. What about Taiwan? Unfortunately, I do not have a way to ship a product to Taiwan today. So give it some time. We're not in a rush. I love Taiwan. I have been there many times. I have many dear friends in Taiwan. But as of now, it is not a market that we are shipping to. Good evening. Do I need to download WeChat to do business from Colombia? Yes. WeChat is going to be your most powerful tool. Absolutely download WeChat. If I register a new member, how long does it take for the volume points to show? 1 day. So if they place an order today, you will see the volume tomorrow. One of my Chinese contacts asked me if they use their 18-digit ID number, will they be required to pay taxes on their commissions? No, because the order is in Hong Kong and they are in China. The commissions legally are generated in Hong Kong, even though we pay to their China bank account. It is Hong Kong taxes, and they will be they don't report that to Hong Kong. It is all self-administered, and they should understand what that means. Will there be a WeChat mini program or a native app for China? Of course. When we go live in November, everything will be the WeChat mini app. That is a great question, Marco Antonio. Great question. Are we allowed to promote the opportunity on Chinese social media yet? You can start to promote the product, no problem. So any of the products, you can start to share about the product. For the business, let's wait until November, but you can do word of mouth, face-to-face, interpersonal all day long because it's working, it is live, and it is available. So yes, you can do that every single day. Great question. Carolina is asking for the links for the opportunity Zoom call. Great, we will get that published out. We'll send that out shortly. All right, what other questions do we have? That's a lot of information. And as long as a consultant has a Chinese government ID, they can enroll as a Chinese consultant, even though they're American-born and married to a Chinese-born spouse. Well, I mean, if they're American-born, they could potentially enroll as a U.S. consultant. But if you want them to enroll as a Chinese consultant, yes. If they don't have a Chinese government ID and you want to enroll them in Hong Kong, then you would just input any 18 digits. That's not the biggest concern. Have I tried Immunocal already? Oh, come on. Come on. All right, so guys, I said this call was not going to be about Immunocal, but I lied because now you asked the wrong question, my friend. Have I tried it? No. For 20 years, I had never tried it. I did not know it existed. And I am ashamed. I am embarrassed that I did not know the power of the glutathione story. And for me, once I learn the scientific principle, I'm screwed. I have no choice. So I take Immunocal 2, 3, 4 times a day. It is my favorite product that I have ever used. I will never stop using it. My baby, who is 8 months old, we take a syringe and she takes that every single day. My children, they take the original with the reds and greens every single day. Before this call, just when I woke up, they said, Ian, Dad, can you please come make our Immunocal? Like literally, I said, guys, I have this call in 10 minutes. No, can you please come make our Immunocal? Because they like the way that I shake it. I'm very good at making it smooth, no foam. But I don't love the product because it tastes good. I don't love the product because it's the same formula as America. I love the product because for 20 years, I have been helping to solve the problem of chronic degenerative disease, of oxidative stress, of aging prematurely. I have been working my entire career, but I did not know I was fighting a fight with both arms behind my back. Because when you have a formula that is flooding the body with antioxidants, those antioxidants are blind. They don't know where to go. They don't know how in the body where to go to solve the problem. It's like this. If I lived in a city and every day the city had meteors from the sky that were burning down and the houses catch on fire, without Immunocal, the firemen are blind and they might to go. With Immunocal, every house that is a cell, every cell turns on its own force field to protect itself. That is so much smarter than waiting for firemen to go put out the fire. It's a better approach. Have I tried Immunocal? I will die with Immunocal in my hands, guys. It is that important to me. I thought I was just doing this to get China up and running. I did not know I would fall in love with the product the way I've fallen in love with the product. So, yes, I have tried Immunocal. And unfortunately, because I tried it once, I will always be stuck. Because there's no replacement. Whey protein doesn't do it. Drinking 20 gallons of raw milk still won't get me enough bonded cysteine. We have a product that just works. It is, all right, there we go. I'm sorry, guys. You got me excited. Don't get me excited. We'll keep talking. Let's go back to the question. Sandra, every day, me and my family for 30 years. Sandra, you're amazing. Holy cow. It's so good. Yes, I believe we have recorded this information session. You can ask your market managers how to get a copy. Could he be registered as a customer in Hong Kong? Yes. Hong Kong, just so you know, anyone can register in Hong Kong. Anyone. Hong Kong allows for people from every country to enroll into the business and to buy products. So anyone can enroll in Hong Kong. When will we start to have a presentation in the Chinese language? Literally next week. And actually, I've been doing presentations, but more one-on-one. Could I please share the presentation we shared in the chat? Yeah, we'll get that information out. That's amazing. Shelby, I agree. It's a good thing I'm taking 3 a day because we're working 20-hour days. It's amazing, but I love it. Is the business model of network marketing legal in China? If you don't have a direct sales license, in the long run, no, you will not be legal. That is why this joint venture is so important. What identification documents does Immunotec accept to register a promoter in mainland China and Hong Kong? Yeah, their Chinese ID or their passport, both of those are fine. Agnes, I have been on the product for a month and it's great. Yeah, no, it's good. I love it. The 5 products in the JV, are the other products, the pills, going to give points and commissions the same way? Absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't matter which platform you buy. The products, the commissions are all the same forever. All right, guys, it's been 45 amazing minutes of questions. Let's take one last question, and then we're going to have to call it a night. But I love the enthusiasm. I love being part of this team, this family. It is amazing. Do people in China have to do anything special regarding their taxes if they receive commissions? Well, everyone everywhere should pay their taxes. That will always be my advice. And we can have information sessions where we go into details on how we do that. But it is a unique situation with Hong Kong because they don't have visibility into most of your commissions. But we can talk with that on a separate information call on kind of the best approach. So thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate your questions, your enthusiasm. I love being part of this family, and this is just the beginning. There will be lots of questions, which is why we will do this again next week and the next week until you say, no more questions, and then we'll just go to work. I'm honored to be here, and let's get going. This is too important of a product and too amazing of a company to keep it a secret. The secret needs to go away. Let's go to work. Let's get going. Gracias por todos. We love you guys. See you in China. Thank you. Goodbye.